Over the last couple of days in LA, I've been searching for used PC deals, been getting some great deals here and there. I've got 2 vlogs now that I've made on some of the deals I've picked up. And in one of these videos, we got a PC for $55. It included an i5-760, 8GB of RAM, a hard drive, a motherboard, a cooler and power supply and case. But after that, we also picked up a Cooler Master case with some bling in it. It also included a cooler and some other things. So we're going to be using that case and also using a power supply from another build, and then using a GTX 1050 that we got for $80. So in total, this whole build is going to cost around $155. But let's put together this PC for what I'm going to be calling and naming the Los Angeles Bang Job. So this PC shouldn't be too hard to put together. The first step we're going to do here is take out the hardware that we need from this particular case, and then we can get rid of the components that we don't need. Since I'm on the road and I'm actually in a hotel room at the moment, I can't keep some of this stuff, otherwise I'm just going to be too weighed down in my trip. But let's get the first stage done. Now, one important thing for me personally, since I'm on the road and I don't have any spare screws, is I will want to salvage as much of these as possible. This includes pulling them out of any area I can, from drive cages, from the power supplies I'm not using, and that way I'll be able to build up a screw stash while I'm on the road. But now it's time to get the alcohol wipes and clean everything down. There's a little bit of a hiccup here. I took this panel off the top here trying to get the front panel off, but it's actually tapered on here, so we're not going to be able to get this front panel off, unfortunately, which means the front dust panel filter is not going to be able to be cleaned. This is kind of one of those moments where I wish I had the data vac. I've also already tried the hairdryer, and it's unfortunately this one at this hotel is not powerful enough. Into a big problem here, and that is both the power supplies I have that are budget choices are not going to fit this case. There's just simply not enough room to mount the power supply in any sort of normal way without being too dangerous. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this motherboard out, now the power supply, and actually transfer it into the Acer case back there. That way we can easily drop $20 off the build, since we can use this case now in another build and take it to Vegas with us, because we've already got 2 builds planned out. And I mean, dropping like a Cooler Master $35 power supply in this build and then $20 for the case, that's adding $55 to the build cost. We're not going to be getting that money back, especially since this is a sort of entry-level build. People don't care too much about the aesthetics, more about the price performance. So let's change everything over and see if we can finally meet some success. So we've booted the PC up now. Everything is working really well. So I'm surprised because this front panel connector has sort of like a different style of front panel connector, but somehow we managed to get that working properly. And Windows itself on the initial install on AHCI wasn't working, so we changed that around to IDE, and now we're installing Windows fine. So all they're left to do now is install Windows, run some stress tests, and really just put the side panel on, and we'll have a complete PC here for $135. So we finished the Unigine Heaven benchmark now, and we're getting a score of 3,094. The max this graphics card's hit 73 degrees, which is absolutely fine considering its auto fan speeds. And the FPS is really high too, constantly going over 100 FPS, which means the CPU and GPU combo is really good. So now Prime 95 is just doing its thing, blend test. This will test the CPU, but also a lot of memory as well, because I find the most common problem with PCs is that sometimes you'll get some faulty RAM, and that'll cause all sorts of issues. So this will pick it up really quickly, and if it has a problem, usually the system will just crash or it'll freeze. So that's a great indicator that you need to change over and get some working memory. But this PC looks like it's absolutely fine. It's gonna keep doing a good job. So we're gonna take some B-roll of this now and then move over to a conclusion with this PC because it's pretty much ready to be flipped. Here we are now at the conclusion with the $135 LA bang job. This is a phenomenal price performance build, but this is one of the most different PCs I've done in the history of this channel for two reasons. A, we've got no time to install games. We are completely out of time. We got to flip this thing pretty soon because there's another build we have to do before I have to get out of LA, which is tomorrow midday, where I'm driving to Vegas. So I do want to get onto the next build and start going through that. But another thing as well, we didn't have any internet in the hotel via the RJ45 to install any games and test performance, but we did the stress test on both the GPU and the CPU and the RAM, and everything is fine, temperatures are fine, everything checks out. And also I wanted to show you guys my typical process of putting together a flip. You don't necessarily have to play games on it for hours, rather just leave the benchmarks going and they'll stress test the machine for you while you can do something else. But in terms of how much I want to flip this thing for, I'll decide when I get to Vegas. It's obviously really good value for money, what we got all the parts for. Unfortunately, we ended up using the Acer case over the half, which would have a bit more bling, but in turn we did save $20, and we can now use that half in Vegas, for example, when we put together another PC while we're going through CES. So there's definitely going to be a lot more builds and a lot more weird stuff coming to the channel, so make sure you stay tuned. But this one is one tidy little neat PC, 135 bucks. Price performance is through the roof. If you guys enjoyed this, then make sure you hit that like button and let us know in the comment section below what you think of it. I was pretty lucky that the power button and everything worked out in this case. We don't have USB 3 at the front, but I'm sure someone who's on a budget is not going to care too much. They're just going to want to get that raw performance and make sure everything works, and that's exactly what this thing is going to do. So we did through all those problems. Absolute success. This PC's ready to go. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.